and the Jews had their sacrificial rites, right? Both pagans and Jews had sacrificial rites. Something you go through, and you do this. And if you follow the rite, if you follow the spiritual directive, if you follow it just right, then that's efficacious for your salvation. Paul says this is a Christian's rite of worship, being a living sacrifice. Because both for the Jews and the pagans, where was the sacrifice? Was it alive or was it dead? It was a dead sacrifice. Paul now is turning the world upside down and says, no, if you want to have proper worship, you must have a living sacrifice. In other words, your life. Your life. You give, and sacrifice means what? You give to God. Your life. Your living sacrifice. And now, oh boy, I only got 10 minutes. I got to get through the imperatives. The imperatives, all right? The imperatives which, I'm sorry if I get too much involved in an English class here, but we need to understand this. Paul uses two imperatives. Now, what do we say imperatives are? Imperatives are something that you what? Absolutely got to do. These two imperatives I'm going to show you in this text now also are in the passive mode. Now, what's passive mean? Passive means something that works upon an object. Instead of that object doing the action, it's something outside of that object doing the action. Okay? In other words, passive means it's being done for you. You are not doing it yourself, otherwise he would have written an active. And this is so important to understand. Absolutely necessary in the Christian walk to be, now he uses a big, long Greek word, to not be conformed to this world. Now I wish there was a Bible translation in English out there that translated the passive. There isn't a single one. Because the passive means here, not that you're conforming yourself, but what? You are being conformed. It is completely out of your hands that you are being conformed. And first he says, if you're going to have proper worship of me, do not let yourself be conformed to what? To this culture, to this world. This age, actually. Don't let yourself be conformed. Do not allow yourself to be conformed. I like Peterson's paraphrase here. Don't become so well adjusted to your culture that you fit into it without even thinking. Is that a message for us today? Was it a message for Paul in his day to those people? Don't allow culture to conform you. Well, Pastor, none of us have allowed culture to mess with us here, right? What are we a product of usually?
Our environment.
We're a product of our culture. Hey folks, is there some things in our culture today living in North America here that aren't too good? That aren't too productive? That can get in the way of your worshiping God? Is there some things in our culture that could get in our way? Yeah. What does our culture, what's our mindset teach us? You know, do it your own way. Strive. What are some of the things our culture values today?
Money.
Money, power, position,
entertainment.
If it turns out, as it usually turns out, for the past 40, 50 years, 95% of the politicians who spent the most money get elected. That's why I say we have the best system money can buy. What does our culture? Now, we live in the culture, but Jesus said do not become what? And this is a tough one. Paul says if you're going to have spiritual worship, don't let culture influence you. Do not let it happen to you. And then what's the next one? The next big word there. Actually, the Greek word is metamorphose, where we get the English word what? Metamorphosis. Paul says, allow yourself to be transformed.